Hey guys, it's Misty, fourth grade teacher at Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship. And today we're on, I know yesterday I said was lesson 6, but today is actually lesson 6. And we're going to be talking about drought as we continue with weather. So yesterday we talked about erosion and how precipitation the rain or the snow, the sleet or hail can cause things like erosion. So they can recede or take away some of the land and kind of wash it away. So today we're talking about drought. We're talking about when we don't have rain. Oops. So you might think, what is a drought? It's exactly what I just said. It's when there's a shortage in water supply for more than 15 days. So that means that there is no sort of rain, and because there's no rain, now other water supplies are starting to dry up. And so water supplies are things like groundwater. So there's actual water in the ground, in the earth that we can tap into and use. Or there's things like surface water. So those are our lakes, our ponds, our streams, and our rivers. And precipitation is the most important because that sustains all of those. And that means that keeps the water continually existing in those places, right? So if we go more than 15 days without any rain, then we would be considered in a drought. How can droughts affect people, plants, and animals? Well, we all know that living things need water to survive. I need to drink water every single day, so do you. A plant needs to be watered, it needs sunlight, and it needs water. Animals need water too. So if we don't have any water, then not only can we not get our basic need of drinking water, but we can't grow plants and we can't grow vegetables, and we can't raise animals to eat, right? Because animals need water too. So where do droughts happen? They can happen anywhere there has been little to no rainfall. So if we are in New York, we know that our climate is generally very wet. So we have a moist climate. So we get a lot of rain, we get a lot of snow, we get a lot of precipitation in general. We also have a lot of water supplies. We have a lot of lakes, we have a lot of rivers. So we don't generally go into a drought because the climate, which is different than weather. Weather is what happens every single day with if it rains, if it snows, but climate is over a long period of time. And we know in the Northeast, which is where we live, that over a long period of time, we get a lot of rain. So we don't usually worry about droughts. But places like the Western United States, they don't have as many water bodies as we do. They don't have lots of lakes. They don't have lots of rain either. And then there are other places or continents like India and Australia and Africa. These places face a climate that is prone to droughts. So that means that often they will go a long time without rain. And you see in this picture here, this is a riverbed that has dried up, and you see these big cracks in the ground, and that's because all of the moisture, all the water is being dried up by the sun. And so nothing can grow here. You see a little bit of maybe that might be some leftover moss or some leftover algae from the river, but nothing can really grow there because there's no water. So these are things that can happen with our weather. And it's just important to be aware of these because there are things that can make it worse. So we, in the United States a long time ago, we had something called the Dust Bowl. And this was where in the West, in the plains, people were growing lots of different types of vegetables for us to eat, but they got a drought. And so they didn't get any rain. And what happened was that the ground dried up a lot and the wind started to whip up the land. And because the land had been plowed, there weren't a lot of trees to buffer the wind. There weren't a lot of other vegetation. And so what happened was that people started to get sick and had to stay indoors because of this drought. And they had to stay indoors because the wind was whipping up all of this dirt and it created a bunch of dust. And people were breathing it in, and that's not a good thing, right? So that was called the Dust Bowl. And that happened. So it's just important to realize that there are lots of different things that can happen with our weather. And we have lots of technology now that can help us predict when things like this might happen. So today, that will conclude Droughts. And now I just ask that you go fill out your exit ticket, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. All right, thanks. Bye, guys.